Hello friends, Tom Downey here for our preseason profile on the Washington Redskins. We'll start things off with their key additions, namely, there's a new quarterback in town. Alex Smith is here in Washington. Kirk Cousins, of course, is gone, and he's got at least one new fun piece to play with on offense. Paul Richardson, who's shown some really good flashes at times in Seattle, but injuries and inconsistency have plagued him. Deron Payne comes in the draft, so too does Darius Guy, so my favorite picks overall in the entire draft. So it's definitely a new look offense and hopefully an upgraded run defense for Washington this year. As for the losses, well, the big one, Kirk is gone. Now, I don't really believe that Alex Smith is an upgrade over Kirk Cousins. I'm sure some Redskins fans do. But Smith is coming off a career year with Kansas City. I think he's going to regress to the mean. Terrell Pryor, not a huge loss. He wasn't great at anyway for Washington. Kendall Fuller, though, is one that I'm going to miss in Washington. A great nickel corner. I did not like moving him to get Alex Smith. Overall, not a disastrous offseason. It's a C+. Some good pieces brought in, Payne and Richardson and Darius Guy among them. But giving up Kendall Fuller to get Alex Smith and also losing Kirk Cousins in the process, it's a negative for me. I give Washington only a C+. On to their preseason. They play the Patriots in Week 1. Not that these games matter all that much. Week 2 is the Jets, then it's Denver and the Baltimore Ravens. The Denver game is the one, if you're only going to watch one game, that's the one you should pay attention to. It's the Week 3 dress rehearsal game, and two big questions on both sides of the ball for me for Washington. One, how does this new look offense fare? We'll call it a revamped offense, maybe a reset offense as well. And as for the run defense, it was awful last year. Does it look better against Denver, who doesn't have an elite run game by any means either? So some training camp storylines to watch then for the Redskins. First up, the quarterback. How well does Alex Smith play this year for the Redskins? Now, I think the reality is last year was as good as we'll ever see Alex Smith. That was a surprisingly late in his career breakout year for Alex Smith. 67.5%, 4,000 yards, barely turned the ball over. Looked really good for KC and was a borderline MVP candidate for a good chunk of that season. The issue is, you gotta think he regresses back to his career means, which is not a bad quarterback by any means, but kind of more of a game manager. And for the skill pieces around Smith, I like Darius Guy, Jamison Crowder, Josh Dotson are fine. Jordan Reed, who hope stays healthy. Jamison Crowder as well. It's not bad, but it's not as good as KC's with Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, and so on. So that's a big red flag for me for the Redskins in terms of a possible regression for Alex Smith. The one area that I do think they'll be better at this year is the run defense, because guess what? It really can't get any worse. Last year, Washington was dead last in the NFL in run defense, but two big additions, well, 1.5 big additions up front, will drastically improve that run defense. At defensive end, Jonathan Allen is now healthy for Washington. That's a big deal there. And Deron Payne comes in as a first-round pick, should be a great run stuffer. Frankly, that starting line is pretty darn good for a 3-4 scheme. And then the linebacker core, Zach Brown, Mason Foster. Especially if Foster is healthy, should be just fine as well. It's a good front seven for Washington. I don't worry about them against the pass, but I do have to see a lot more against the run. Dead last season. Hopefully Redskins can at least approach the league average numbers in 2018. And then one more training camp storyline for me. Can Jordan Reed just stay healthy? When the dude is on the field, he is one of the best tight ends in the entire NFL. He's a great athlete, a great weapon at tight end as a move tight end, but he's missed 14 games over the last 2 years and was basically a non-factor last year for far too many games throughout the season. If he stays healthy, we know how much Alex Smith likes tight ends. He can get Jordan Reed involved plenty. And on the bright side for Washington, if Reed does get hurt again, Vernon Davis is pretty darn good as a backup. So it's not the end of the world if Reed can't stay healthy, but that offense is a lot better with Reed on the field and able to contribute week in and week out. As for the regular season for the Redskins, well, the NFC is a tough division to play in overall, or a tough conference to play in. Arizona, the Colts, not too bad games to start, and then kind of comes a bit of a gauntlet. Packers, Saints, Panthers, Cowboys, Giants, and Falcons. That's rough right there. I don't mind playing against the Bucs. That's a game that they can win. But then Houston, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Jags, and Philadelphia again to end the season. It's going to be tough for Washington to get by those games and approach even just a 500 mark. And look at the odds for Super Bowl 53. They're not good for Washington. They're dead last in the NFC East, and that's why I have them pegged to finish as well. It's not a knock on just the talent level of Washington. If they played in the AFC East, they'd be the no-brainer second-best team, and frankly, they might be a playoff team in the AFC. But in the NFC, I don't think they're going to match the 7-9 mark from last year. It's a fair question to say how much they actually got better this year, given the quarterback change and losing Kendall Fuller on defense. Yeah, Geis and Payne will help out, but in a really, really tough NFC, I am not feeling confident about the Redskins' chances this year. And frankly, I think that might mean Jay Gruden ends up on the hot seat at the end of the year, given the trigger happiness of one Dan Snyder. So let me know in the comment section where you think the Redskins will finish this year in the NFC East. If it's first, second, third, or fourth, let me know. And follow us on Twitter at Chat Sports for more NFL coverage all year long.